Hey, good morning, guys. It's cold. It's too cold for kayak fishing. It's too cold for motorcycling. So I'm going to show you how I made my trolling motor for my Hobie kayak. One thing I need to mention before everybody starts cracking on me because I have a trolling motor on a kayak. I love to troll. I've caught tons of fish trolling out of the back of my kayak, and I unfortunately don't get to fish your smaller creeks and rivers and places where all you really need is a paddle. That was part of the reason for me to purchase the Hobie ProAngler14 was because of the Mirage drive and be able to cover long distances. So, and that makes a big difference. However, I fish, 6, 8, 10 hours. I've been on the water for 22 hours on a kayak. And when you're pedaling that long, you just wear yourself out, and that's perfectly fine and normal. I mean, that's not being lazy. I've been there, done that. So I wanted to put a trolling motor on my kayak. Now, there's other videos on YouTube that show you how to put a trolling motor on a kayak. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to utilize the actual the through hole fitting that Hobie uses for their Mirage drive and actually use that for the trolling motor. So on YouTube, I didn't really see that many videos that showed someone actually building a setup that would work with the Mirage drive, and that's what I wanted to do. I actually tried the Enduro Minn Kota C2, I believe it was, and that actually wouldn't fit through the hole of my Hobie. So after doing my research, a gentleman by the name of Tom Kirkman, who seems to be very, very knowledgeable of Hobie kayaks and does a lot of experimental stuff with trolling motors, and I think he's got some designs of his own that are completely different than what's on the market today. I don't know if he's started selling that stuff or not, but anyway, he seemed to know a lot about this type stuff, and I got on a forum and read everything that I could about what he said, and so far he seems to be right. These larger trolling motors that people are putting off to the side of their kayaks, like your 30 and 40 pound thrust trolling motors, are really overkill for a kayak. I have an 18-pound thrust water snake, which is the propeller is designed for a kayaker and small canoes and such things. So when you have a 30 or 40 pound thrust trolling motor, you're really it's really overkill. That's designed to move a large boat. The pitch on the props are different. Now, you might be able to get it through the hull of your kayak. Maybe yours is different than mine. I'm not sure. But as far as speed goes, I can get about 3.5, 4 miles per hour, checked by GPS, with this little 18-pound thrust. And an advantage is, one, it's light. It's very light. The whole setup weighs 8 pounds. And that's including what I made for it. 8 pounds. You're not going to find a Minn Kota 30 or Minn Kota 40 pound thrust trolling motor that weighs 8 pounds. Plus, you're just running your battery, you're just running the juice out of your battery with a larger motor to go maybe 1 mile per hour faster, which in most cases isn't really worth it. And kayak fishermen want to keep the kayak as light as possible. And anyway, that's enough talk. Let's get to the good stuff. All right, hopefully this is in view. If you purchase the Hobie brand new, then Hobie sends you a cassette plug that is to be used when you're not using your Mirage drive, so water don't come splashing up, and just to fill up the hole, I guess. But unfortunately, I bought mine used, so I had to order this. I ordered it from Austin Kayak, got here really quick, and went to work on it as soon as I got it. So this is what I did. Took the Hobie cassette plug, and it had little plastic tabs on each side right here, which actually were already broken when I got it in the mail, which I would have been not too pleased had I not been going to change it anyway. I cut those tabs out. I filled this with expansion foam to make it more rigid, more buoyant, and that really helped out. I let that sit for a day. The only thing I had available around my house was a cutting board. Now, you can use marine board, or you don't really have to use anything at all with a trolling motor this light, but I wanted to use something that would make this plug more rigid. So all I did was make a pattern, use a Dremel tool, and cut out a piece of cutting board and epoxied it to the top and to the bottom. Okay, now that's about a 1/4 inch thick, and it works out just fine. When this trolling motor is inserted into the kayak, this is almost perfectly level with the hull of my kayak. It just makes a straight line, which is really, really nice. But my sole purpose of adding this was just to make this trolling motor more rigid. I didn't want it bouncing around inside this cassette plug, wearing it out. This was a tool from Walmart. It was a kitchen tool, some kind of kitchen sink wrench or something. I don't even know what it was. All I saw was a rod, and it worked out just perfect. I cut it roughly about 6 inches long, I think, and it was a little bit thicker than a 1/2 inch in diameter, so I had to take a grinder, and you can see it does have some rust spots. I should have just bought a stainless steel rod, but I'll clean this up and put some kind of coating over it. I think it'll work just fine for now. I drilled a hole all the way through the cutting boards, the cassette plug, and the bottom cutting board, so obviously the trolling motor could slip through it. And there you go. These two mounts right here are the mounts off of the original water snake mount. You got to have a mount on the bottom, one, because the trolling motor, once you put power to it, it's going to want to come up. It's going to want to do this right here. Anyway, this acts as a stop. And when this is at the bottom, this propeller is right at the hull of the boat. It's not hitting it, obviously, but it's right at the hull, and that's what you want. You want that trolling motor up out of the water as close to the surface as possible. The Hobie cassette plug has a little, I guess you could tie it to something or leash it to something so you don't lose it. I guess that's what that's for. All I did, I took that top mount off of the trolling motor, the original transom mount assembly, and just took a zip tie, run it through that eye on the cassette plug, just to have a little bit more insurance of it not sliding around as much. That's the setup. It's really light. Let me talk a little bit about the motor itself. This is the Water Snake 18-pound thrust, 12-volt trolling motor. It's got a little handle. I never use it. I never use this handle. Why? Because my trolling motor stays stationary, in place. I turn my kayak with the rudder. No need to move this at all. One great feature of having a trolling motor is that you do have a reverse. Now understand, you only get 2 speeds with this trolling motor. You get a low speed and you get a high speed. High speed I hardly ever use unless I'm just trying to get to the fishing spot real quick, or I'm basically just out on the water having fun, just trolling around, you know. But on speed 1 is a great speed for trolling. Actually, it's almost a little bit too fast. I wish there was maybe 3 speeds and one just slightly slower than speed 1. However, it does work just fine. And the nice thing about the 18-pound thrust trolling motor is you're not killing your battery. You don't have to bring a huge battery. If you're into the lithium-ion type batteries and you got the money to put out on one and a good charger, then by all means, that's the way to go. But obviously, I didn't want to put that money out. I'm kind of cheap, so this is a great alternative. This trolling motor right here, I think I ordered it from Gander Mountain. Ordered it online, gandermountain.com. Ran me $90 shipped to my front door. Free shipping. So you can't beat that. The plug, I think, was $28, which, you know, you're ordering a Hobie part, you're going to get ripped off. But, hey, it's still cheaper than having a bass boat. And if this motor wears out, what's another $90? That's a full tank of gas in my old boat. And this kayak has definitely paid for itself by saving me on gas. Another point to mention, on YouTube, you'll see some videos of the guys putting their trolling motors through the hull, and they're having to take the trolling motor angle it this way, angle it that way. There's no need to do that with this one. This motor is small enough with the prop. All you do, boom, straight down, lock it into place just like you would your Mirage drive fins, hook it up to your battery, and you're good to go. Very simple. Like I said, averaging about 3.5, 4 miles per hour, give or take, depending on how much gear I bring with me. But that's it. Real simple, real light. I haven't tested how long I can go as far as distance and how long my battery will hold a charge on speed 1, just trolling. I'm going to guesstimate around 6 hours, maybe. Could be way off there, but the motor isn't pulling much power. It really isn't. So I'll have to do that on another video. I hope this helps someone out there who's considering putting a trolling motor on their kayak. It's really neat. Bring my wife fishing now because all I got to do is just tie a rope to her and drag her around everywhere. So I actually have a video of that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty cool. But it's a great way to go. The Water Snake 18-pound thrust trolling motor with the Hobie cassette plug, drops straight in, locks into place. It's light, easy to carry around with you. Fits in the front hatch when you're not using it. You want to paddle or you want to use your fins, just fine. Store it away in the front. Works just fine. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more Venture Tube action. See you next time. Guys, welcome to another episode of Venture Tube. On this episode, I wanted to do a video on how I made my trolling motor. So